Two sisters, born identical in almost every way, shared more than just their looks. They shared an eerie bond, one that confounded psychologists, teachers, and their own family. A bond so strong that it trapped them in a world of silence and isolation, one where only the two of them seemed to exist. The tale of Jennifer and June Gibbons, known as the Silent Twins, is a story that blends the real with the surreal, the known with the unknown, in a way that continues to haunt those who dare to look deeper. What began as a quiet rebellion against the world around them soon spiraled into something far more disturbing and ultimately tragic. Welcome to Shrouded Mysteries, where we dive deep into some of the world's most unsettling and unsolved enigmas. Here, we explore the shadows of reality, mysteries that sometimes defy explanation. Some stories are more disturbing than others, but as they say, truth is often stranger than fiction. Stay with us as we uncover the history behind the Silent Twins. Jennifer and June Gibbons were born on April 11th, 1963, in the British Military Hospital of Aden, Yemen, to parents Gloria and Aubrey Gibbons. From the moment of their birth, it was clear they were inseparable. But it wasn't just a sibling closeness. It was something far more profound. As their parents moved from Yemen to Wales, the girls began to withdraw into themselves, isolating from everyone around them. From a very young age, Jennifer and June spoke only to each other in a language that was incomprehensible to others. It wasn't just the fast, hushed tones they used, but the way they seemed to be communicating telepathically. As they grew, this secret language became more pronounced. They moved in perfect synchronization, often mirroring each other's actions. It wasn't long before teachers, classmates, and even their parents noticed that the twins simply refused to speak in public. And when they did, it was only in the presence of one another. Imagine being in their presence. Silence would fill the air as they stared blankly at those who attempted to speak to them, communicating only through the eerie glances and whispers shared between them. What was it that kept them so deeply connected? Why did they reject the world so fiercely? A chilling question loomed. What was happening inside their minds? Their school years were marked by this disturbing silence, which grew more intense with each passing year. Teachers noted that despite their high intelligence, the girls refused to participate in lessons. Their refusal to speak made them easy targets for bullying. Soon, the other students began to mock and harass them for their silence, their strange behavior becoming more of a spectacle than a cry for help. It's hard to say when exactly the darkness began to take hold, but by the time they were teenagers, Jennifer and June had built an impenetrable wall between themselves and the outside world. Their bond became more sinister as their isolation deepened. It was as if they were retreating into a space where no one else could reach them, a space where only the rules they created mattered. In their shared bedroom, the twins would spend hours writing elaborate stories and plays. At first glance, these stories seemed like a creative outlet for the girls' frustrations, but as time passed, their writings grew darker, filled with violence and cruelty. It was as if their suppressed emotions were pouring out through these words, a release of the anger and resentment they held toward the world. As you imagine the silence in that room, interrupted only by the scratching of pens on paper, a creeping dread fills the air. What was festering inside their minds? And why were they so drawn to the macabre? As Jennifer and June navigated the tumultuous waters of adolescence, they found themselves grappling with feelings that were both exhilarating and terrifying. The outside world, with all its mysteries and wonders, beckoned to them, but their intense connection often left little room for anyone else. While they shared everything with each other, the prospect of romantic relationships became a tantalizing yet daunting thought. In their quiet town, whispers of teenage love and flirtations filled the air. Boys would often look their way, captivated by the enigmatic aura that surrounded the sisters. But the idea of engaging with these boys sent ripples of confusion through Jennifer and June. They longed for the warmth of love and companionship, yet the fear of losing their unique bond held them back. What if a romantic relationship with someone else threatened the delicate balance they had forged? One fateful day, during a brief moment of courage, Jennifer mustered the strength to express her feelings about a boy in school. "What if he wants to know me?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. June's eyes widened, caught between excitement and fear. "But what if he takes you away from me?" The unspoken bond they shared was powerful, but it was also a chain that kept them tethered to one another, leaving little room for the possibilities of love beyond their sisterly connection. As the weeks passed, they began to share their secret desires, fantasies of romantic adventures and experiences that felt just out of reach. They dreamed of a world where they could both find love without losing each other. Yet each time a boy approached them, the sisters' hearts raced, torn between the thrill of attention and the dread of potential separation. In an attempt to break free from their isolation, they began to test the waters of social interaction. On a chilly autumn evening, they ventured out to a local party, a rare outing for the twins. Surrounded by laughter and music, they felt the weight of the world pressing down on them. It was a thrilling experience, but one that quickly turned chaotic as they became overwhelmed by the noise and the crowd. In that moment of chaos, a boy approached Jennifer, charming and confident. As he leaned in to talk, she felt a mixture of excitement and panic, a fear that she had never experienced before. June, sensing her sister's anxiety, clung tightly to her arm. The boy's attention was flattering, yet it ignited a fierce protectiveness in June. "Stay with me," she whispered urgently, pulling Jennifer away. Their bond, so powerful yet fraught with tension, ultimately led them back home that night, hand in hand. As they lay in bed, the dreams of love and romance faded into the shadows, replaced by the familiar comfort of each other's presence. Yet the unfulfilled longing lingered, a bittersweet reminder of the lives they could have lived beyond their cloistered existence. Their relationship had evolved, a constant dance between the desire for independence and the fear of losing one another. The outside world remained a tantalizing mystery, but as the sisters grew older, the walls of isolation began to feel both like a sanctuary and a prison, shaping their identities in ways they could hardly comprehend. Throughout their lives, the twins were not only the center of attention for their unusual behavior, but also surrounded by unsettling incidents involving those around them. In their childhood, several classmates reported hearing whispers coming from the playground, as if the twins were having secret conversations, even when they appeared silent. Once, during a birthday party, a friend of Jennifer and June experienced a strange incident. While playing in the garden, the girl suddenly collapsed, with some witnesses claiming to have seen a shadow pass over her just before she fell. Concerned for the twins' mental well-being, their parents sought the help of a psychologist, but the professional left after just one session, stating that there was an unsettling atmosphere in the room that he couldn't ignore. In their teenage years, a close friend who had spent a lot of time with them mysteriously vanished without a trace, sparking rumors that the twins were somehow connected to her disappearance. Locals began to speak of the cursed twins, as if their bond extended beyond the ordinary, fueling speculation about the dark influence they seemed to exert on those who got too close. By the time the twins were 18, their lives had taken a disturbing turn. After years of isolation and silence, they began to act out in more dangerous ways. They embarked on a brief but intense crime spree, committing acts of vandalism, theft, and even arson. It was as if their pent-up rage was finally being unleashed, not through words, but through destruction. In one particularly eerie incident, the twins set fire to a tractor store. The building was completely destroyed, and the girls watched from a distance as it went up in flames. Later, when questioned by the police, they barely reacted. Their silence had taken on a new, more threatening quality, one that hinted at a darkness no one could fully comprehend. But was this violence really the twins acting out in rebellion, or was there something more malevolent at play? Their writings from that time reveal a disturbing truth. The twins saw themselves as locked in a deadly struggle for dominance. In their journal entries, Jennifer wrote of her desire to eliminate June, and June expressed similar feelings toward Jennifer. They seemed to believe that only one of them could survive. But why? This question lingered in the air as their crime spree came to an end. The authorities decided they were a danger to society, and in 1981, Jennifer and June were committed to Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility. What no one realized at the time was that this decision would only deepen the mystery surrounding the silent twins. Broadmoor was not a place for rehabilitation. It was a place of punishment, a stark, cold environment designed for the criminally insane. For the silent twins, it became a new kind of prison. Instead of breaking the eerie bond they shared, their time at Broadmoor seemed to intensify it. For 12 years, Jennifer and June remained in Broadmoor, mostly in isolation from the other patients. The staff noted how they continued their strange, synchronized behaviors. They still refused to speak to anyone but each other, and even then, their conversations were cryptic and often disturbing. Real stories from staff at Broadmoor tell of eerie nights when they'd hear the girls whispering in their secret language, laughing softly, or simply sitting in silence, staring into space. No one could understand what passed between them, what silent communication kept them so tightly bound. One nurse recalled how the twins would sometimes walk down the hallways in perfect sync, their footsteps echoing ominously against the cold, institutional walls. Were they plotting, communicating telepathically? These were questions that haunted the minds of those who encountered them. As the years passed, something shifted between the twins. Journal entries and interviews with psychologists suggest that Jennifer began to weaken, not just physically, but mentally. The once dominant twin, who had always seemed to lead their dark partnership, started to withdraw. In the months leading up to her end, Jennifer reportedly told June that she was ready to go. In what can only be described as one of the most chilling revelations, it seemed that Jennifer and June had made a pact. In order for one to live in freedom, the other had to meet a fateful conclusion. On March 9th, 1993, the twins were being transferred from Broadmoor to a lower security facility in Wales. During the trip, Jennifer suddenly collapsed. The reason behind her passing was later determined to be acute myocarditis, inflammation of the heart. But there were no indications of trauma or substance use that could explain why a healthy young woman would pass away so unexpectedly. After Jennifer's passing, June seemed to come out of her shell. She started speaking more openly, engaging with the staff in ways she never had before. She even began living a relatively normal life. But one question remained. Did Jennifer really choose to depart so that June could continue living. To this day, the case of the silent twins continues to puzzle psychologists, doctors, and investigators. What force could bind two people so tightly that they would become each other's prisoner, and ultimately lead to one's tragic end? Some have suggested that Jennifer's passing was psychosomatic, a result of the intense psychological bond between the twins. Others believe there were more supernatural elements at play, with the twins' eerie synchronicity and mysterious behavior as signs of something beyond human understanding. Let's talk about the most popular theories. Psychological break theory. Some researchers suggest that the twins experienced a psychological break from reality, leading to their intense bond and communication style. Their isolation might have been a coping mechanism to deal with the pressures of growing up in a society that did not understand them. The intense focus on their inner world could have manifested in their bizarre behaviors and actions. Cultural influence theory. The twins were heavily influenced by the cultural environment of their youth, particularly the media. Some theorists propose that their obsession with writing and storytelling was a reaction to the external world they found difficult to navigate. Their fiction often included themes of death and destruction, possibly reflecting their inner turmoil and disconnection from reality. Family dynamics theory. Another theory suggests that their family environment contributed to their behavior. The twins had a difficult relationship with their parents and often faced bullying at school. This theory posits that their experiences at home and with peers fostered feelings of alienation, leading to their withdrawal and the development of their unique language. Existential experimentation theory. Some speculate that the twins engaged in a form of existential experimentation, testing the limits of their identity and existence. This theory suggests that they may have deliberately sought out extreme situations, including their silence and eventual criminal acts, as a way to explore who they were outside societal norms. Confinement and control theory. After their incarceration, the twins reportedly experienced a sense of confinement that mirrored their earlier isolation. Some theorists argue that this confinement led to heightened creativity in their writing and art, suggesting that the twins may have been attempting to exert control over their narrative and identity in a world that sought to define them. Mystical or supernatural elements theory. While more speculative, some enthusiasts suggest that the twins may have had a connection to the supernatural or mystical experiences. This theory posits that their intense bond and strange behaviors could be seen as evidence of a deeper, unexplainable connection that transcends ordinary human experience. Societal commentary theory. Lastly, some interpretations view the twins' story as a commentary on societal expectations and norms. Their refusal to conform to the typical modes of communication and interaction can be seen as a critique of a society that often marginalizes those who are different or misunderstood. Perhaps the most unsettling theory is that the twins were engaged in some kind of telepathic struggle, one where the only way to break free was through a final act. Each of these theories offers a different lens through which to examine the lives and behaviors of Jennifer and June Gibbons, contributing to the ongoing mystery and fascination surrounding their story. But like all mysteries, the truth remains hidden in the shadows. The world may never know what truly happened between Jennifer and June during their years of silence. Was it a battle for control, a shared descent into confusion, or something darker, something that eludes the grasp of science? Even today, the story of the silent twins is a haunting reminder of how little we truly understand about the human mind. Their case stands as a testament to the darkness that can grow in isolation, the dangers of secrets kept too long, and the terrifying power of a bond that no one could break. In the end, the silent twins leave us with more questions than answers. But perhaps that is what makes their story so chilling. The unknown. Because as we've learned, sometimes the most terrifying thing isn't what we know, but what we can never understand. Remember, in a world full of unsolved mysteries, what we don't know is often the most terrifying. Stay tuned for more chilling cases right here on Shrouded Mysteries. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thank you for joining us as we delve into the shadows of the unknown, where the truth often lies buried in silence.